When I think of Aaron, I think charming. That's the first word that comes to my mind. He was extremely charming, had this smile about him and these vivid blue eyes. He had a wonderful sense of humor. It was rather dry, and he wasn't always like the center of attention. He would be the one in the room kind of sitting back and listening and paying attention, but then all of a sudden he would interject with something really kind of off the wall and crazy and funny. Very handsome and very smart. As a little boy, like I said, he was extremely curious and inquisitive, and he loved to read. He was always reading, and every night I had to tell him 2 stories. We had to read 2 books every night. He was just a fun, smart, wonderful guy. He loved the outdoors. He loved to rock climb with his friend Andrew. He loved to cycle. Everyone seemed to really like Aaron. But he had 2 groups of friends. Come to find out, there were people who knew he was using drugs and people that used drugs with him, and then there were people that had no idea that he used. So he led a double life, and he was able to pull that off. But I think that's part of that world. I think Aaron started using drugs out of fun and to fit in. I don't know that for a fact, that's just what I think, knowing my son. But then it progressed from there. Throughout high school, he managed pretty well. He managed to make it through high school. His grades weren't too bad. They did start to drop some, which was another red flag. But he'd never really gotten in a lot of trouble other than with me. I wasn't real happy with his grades, and sometimes he wouldn't come home when he was supposed to. And I had conversations with him over and over and over. Aaron, you are so smart. You're so handsome. You're from a family that loves you so much. We have some resources to help you. I don't understand why you're making these choices. Why you? Why are you doing this? And he would always say, oh, Mom, I can stop. You know, I can stop doing this whenever. But it eventually got to the point where it was an addiction, and I didn't realize it because I was so naive, and I so loved him, and I so believed I could love him through it. That's what mothers believe, that you can save your child. I did not realize what drugs do to you and how they change your brain and the structure and the function of your brain to the point where he lost self-control, he lost ability to make good choices. I mean, yes, he chose to use drugs, but addiction chose him. I remember him saying, Mom, it's the demon. You don't understand this demon. He said, I hate my life. I don't want to live my life like this, but I want to be strong like you. So we tried rehab. He was in rehab, I think 3 times, unsuccessfully. I still thought I could love him through it. He's 23 years old. He'll outgrow this. He'll mature, and we'll get through this. Until June 23rd, 2003, and I came home from work, drove in the driveway, and there was Aaron's car, and I was angry because he was supposed to have started a new job that day. And my first thought was, what the heck? Why is he home? Why did he not go to work? Opened the door, and there he is, slumped over the tub, unresponsive. So I immediately lift him out, lay him down. I start doing CPR, and they took him to Brookwood. And then after about 30 minutes or so, the doctor comes in and says, I'm sorry, your son has passed. He had been down too long. Really, it's not about me being a bad mother. It's not about me not being able to save my son. It's about the drugs. It's about that they're everywhere. And it's about these people that prey on children like my son, who's vulnerable. This man who injected my son with heroin. It's about making bad choices, and it's about children thinking drugs are toys. They're to be used for fun. And it's about hanging with bad crowds, and it's about life in general. Unfortunately, life doesn't always take us down a path that we want to go down. If I could say one more thing to Aaron, it would be more than one thing. First thing I would say is, I love you. I wouldn't say goodbye. I hear people say that all the time. If I could just say goodbye, I wouldn't have said goodbye. I would say, I love you. I miss you every moment of every day. I'm so aware of this presence, of your absence. But if I could go back, there's times, things I would change. When your friend Ryan overdosed, and I came home and you were sitting in the chair looking so sad and so forlorn and so without hope. And I was angry and I was yelling at you, how could you let this happen? Instead of embracing you and giving you the love and support you needed, I was angry. And I think it's because I was fearful that it would be you. I didn't understand. I did the best I could as your mother. I was a good mother. I forgave myself. I just hope you forgive me of my shortcomings as a mother and as a human being. All the things you miss as a mother. But I wouldn't say goodbye. I would say I love you with all my heart. Forever in my heart.